Welcome back to Breakfast Central. It's time for us to look at what's trending around the continent, especially on social media. Joining us to analyze trendwave this morning, of course, is Elizabeth Musa. Good morning, Liz.
Good morning, guys. Good morning.
Morning, Liz.
Do you have good news for us or bad news?
Whoa. Good.
Not good news.
Nah, well.
There's no good news there.
Nah.
Especially with this conversation
How
about the
do
dollar.
you know? Let me
But go
start the
ahead.
stories first. Today on Trendwave, Nigerians have continued to react after the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele threatened to arrest and prosecute any Nigerian who is caught buying dollars with Naira. Godwin made this announcement during a meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting in Lagos on Tuesday. In his words, he said, "For those taking money from banks to buy dollars, it's illegal to do so. If the security agencies hold you, you will know the implication of that." He, however, urged Nigerians illegally exchanging Naira for dollar to stop, adding that the Apex Bank would conduct investigations and bar those found culpable from conducting transactions in Nigerian banks. Now, before we look at how people are reacting, let's look at the impact of buying dollars with Naira. Firstly, this, of course, poses high risk to Nigerian currency, and also we know that it weakens the Naira. And also, big on this is also the fact that it's a high cost of inflation. This, amongst several other impacts, are some of the reasons why he might have said this. But let's see how people are reacting to this particular story online ever since it started circulating. Now, that one is from Dimeji. Dimeji says, until you explain how the aboki on the street gets FX and we the citizens can get it from the bank. Hashtag misplaced priorities. That's how Dimeji feels about this. Now, that one is from St. Margaret. She says, "Abeg, should I use my teeth to buy it? I don't understand. Please, can someone explain?" Exactly. Lots of people actually need explanation for this particular one. That one's from Fred. Fred says, "But people traveling outside the country can't even get PTA or BTA from the bank. The process is even frustrating. Last, now to buy dollars from black market." That's how Fred feels about it. More reactions on this one. That one's from HRH. She says, "So what should I use? Crypto? You all ban that too. Or should I use plantain leaves? Dollar is almost 700 and it's killing already." And there she is crying. Now, those are how Nigerians are reacting to this particular story online. That one's from Wholesale for Shoes. It says, "Am I the only one that doesn't understand this? Are we supposed to be buying dollars with cedis?" So loads of people are a bit confused, a bit turned as to what Godwin Emefiele might mean by saying that, you know what, Nigerians might have to be arrested if they continue buying dollars with Naira. Now, still on Trendwave, a Delta State High Court in Warri has fined ex-Minister of State for Education Kenneth Gbagi for staff abuse. Kenneth is currently the Social Democratic Party 2023 governorship candidate in Delta State. He was accused of ordering 4 of his staff to be unclothed and photographed over a theft case at the Signatures Hotel in Efrun, Delta State. On September 20, 2020, Gbagi filed an application before Justice Taiwo seeking an order to restrain the police and others from arresting him. But in February 2021, the police were able to start investigations on him. Now, the Justice Vera Agoje has ordered Gbagi to pay 1 million naira for violating the fundamental human rights of Victor Ephraim and 3 others. Also, she added that Gbagi took laws into his own hands by torturing his ex-staff and consequently handing him a fine. Let's see how Nigerians are reacting to this particular story again online. You know, people are saying so many things. That one is from Crispy Tree. It says 1 million naira only. That's 1 million naira. Pere. And did anyone read what I read? She also went on to say that it's also a governorship candidate. Such dehumanizers shouldn't be in the midst of humans. Talk more of a gubernatorial candidate. And she went on to say that those ones, them suppose they carry out character tests for. And then she says, "I am pained." So Nigerians are not having this. That one is from Jade Shola. It says, "Stop him from running an hotel. Take that license from him." More reactions on this particular story online before I bring you in also and Olive. That one is from Ray Mali. It says, stripping his staff naked. I mean, that's what he's trying to say. Why doesn't he just hand the person over to the police? People are just inhuman. More reactions and more reactions. That was from Daplos 2013. It says 1 million naira for torture, stripping, and kidnapping. Utterly ridiculous. It should be jailed. Now, of course, Nigerians are not just commenting about the fact that, you know, it was about the action he carried out. They're also commenting on the fine. 1 million naira for torturing your staff, stripping them naked. They think it's just too low for that offense. Osa and Olive, what do you think about this?
I agree with everyone who thinks it's too low. I mean, I don't know if you hear these type of stories anywhere else, besides Nigeria. And I remember when this news broke. I think his son also was a part of this mess. Part of the people who was making the videos or something like that. It's just a shame. And one thing that I aside the fact that our criminal justice system needs a lot of fixing. And of course, people need to understand that the institution and the laws are much bigger than personalities, regardless of who they are. I think we also need to bring back shame to the Nigerian society, and people need to be shamed for their actions. Aside, the fact that they will go to jail, they also need to be shamed completely for their actions, and that might also help, because it's sad. It's really heartbreaking. And I don't want to go too deep into this, but it's really heartbreaking.
There are several layers to why this is very wrong, and it's a conversation that has been had in legal circles, outside legal circles. It starts from, first of all, displaying of criminals, because at the end of the day, there's a provision for innocent until proven guilty. Section 36 sub 5 of the Constitution provides for that, and a person will be deemed innocent until proven guilty. Who has the right to deem a person innocent or guilty? It's a court of competent jurisdiction. You are not the court. If you find that you have evidence to, establish a case against the person, take them to court. Bring them before a court of competent jurisdiction and let the court determine their fate, guilty or their fates rather,
Absolutely.
Guilty or innocent. That being said, from parading of criminals to beating people, to jungle justice, because that's actually what was done here. In the event that this person actually did commit the crime, it's the first course of action to publicly strip the person and torture the person. It's an abuse of power, it's an abuse of the person's right to dignity of human persons, which is enshrined in the Constitution. There's so many layers to uncover this from. It's just very sad that what we find is that people who are at the helm of affairs, people who have power and influence, find ways to make people who are beneath them suffer. But the funny thing is that even the poor people who do not have enough still find ways to make their colleagues suffer. It's why African China said, a poor man will steal Maggi, they go show him face for crime fighters. And the rich man will thief money, we no go see him face for crime fighters. These are conversations that have been had in music.
But mostly because our criminal justice system doesn't punish people enough. Because if we lived in a society where these persons, after surviving such a traumatic incident, can sue, and they're sure that, to some extent they would win their case and this person would be duly punished, not given a slap to the 1 million naira fine, because that's very likely money that he can pay from his back pocket. If they were sure that you can be sued and you will be punished duly for it, then some of these things wouldn't be happening like this.
Yeah,
it's complete abuse of power.
We certainly agree that there are some provisions of the law that need to be amended. However, in some cases, there is actually a provision for adequate punishment. There are provisions for adequate punishment. The problem is, how are you going to even be able to argue your case in court when you cannot even afford a decent lawyer or a lawyer who knows their job, that would not allow the case be marred by legal technicalities? There are several layers to it. Of course, people have also lost confidence in the judicial system. We cannot overemphasize that. That's something that...
Olive, I like how you said that people have lost confidence in the judicial system. And that is why I think many people go ahead to practice jungle justice, which I'm strongly against, which exactly is what happened in this particular case. And you expect that. You don't even expect it from certain people, especially considering his position. You don't expect him to do that. You know the right things to do, you know the particular things to do to, mete out justice for a particular situation, but you went on to practice the jungle justice way. It's just terrible.
Yeah, I'm even not sure why, he has those smiley pictures all over the screen. That's a person that, should be answering serious questions with regards to abuse of power.
Absolutely. 1 million naira is just too small.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking.
I think it's also a reminder to tell people that even when a person is caught, for a crime, the first recourse should not be to film naked, humiliated, I mean, I know it's very easy to say, Sha. Sometimes when you think about the gravity of certain offenses, like those who rape children, well, that's another kettle of fish we don't want to open. Let's talk about your earlier story. You talked about the dollar to the Naira rate. It's very sad. It's very sad. We're not the financial experts, so we certainly will be bringing in one tomorrow to talk about the show, to talk about this.
Of course.
It's just very unfortunate to see what's happening. At this rate, we're all just going to pray to be earning in dollars.
Absolutely.
Of course, and it's interesting to see how Nigerians are reacting to it, which I think is why we brought in the story today, to see how Nigerians are reacting, because they're a bit confused. So tomorrow then, we're going to have a financial analyst to, really shed more light, really help us to understand this particular story.
All right.
I'm not sure why the CBN governor is always calling for a fight or calling for...
this week made it a year that they stopped selling to Bureau de Change, and it's just like, what's happening? At that time it was 502. Now we're almost hitting 700.
And the Abuki FX ban also didn't do a lot of, it didn't help a lot.
Yeah.
I remember back then, when it was saying, if you have a problem with me, you should come outside, let's fight. I'm like, this is a CBN governor. Anyway, thanks a lot, Liz.
Yeah.
Let's
it's always
quickly
a pleasure.